Have you ever had this moment? You're talking to someone, a coworker, a friend, a family member, and they say something like, "You're really talented. You're good at so many things." And for a split second, you feel seen. But then comes the second sentence. Imagine how far you'd be if you just focused on one thing. And suddenly, that compliment feels like a quiet accusation. Because deep down, you already tell yourself that story. You look at your life and think, why do I know a little about so many things, but don't feel exceptional at any one thing? Why does it feel like everyone else picked a lane while you're standing at a crossroads with 10 different maps? Why does your curiosity feel like both your superpower and the thing that keeps holding you back? And maybe the worst part, you're not lazy, you're not unfocused, you actually work hard, you just don't fit the model you were taught success is supposed to follow. So today, I want to talk to you, not to motivate you, not to pressure you, but to explain what's actually going on inside your mind. Because this pattern, being good at many things but master of none, is not a failure of discipline. It's a psychological pattern, a cognitive style, a nervous system pattern, a way your brain interacts with the world. And once you understand it, everything starts to shift. Not just how you work, but how you see yourself. Let's start by clearing up a powerful misconception. We live in a culture obsessed with specialization. Pick one thing early. Go deep. Stick with it. Ignore distractions. Become the expert. This model works beautifully for some minds. But here's the problem. We assume that if it works for some minds, it should work for all minds. And psychology tells us that's simply not true. Some brains are designed for depth-first processing. Others are wired for breadth-first processing. Neither is better. They are just different. But society rewards one more visibly than the other. So if you're someone who learns fast, connects ideas across domains, gets energized by novelty, sees patterns others miss, loses interest once things become repetitive, you're often misdiagnosed. Not clinically, but culturally. You're labeled as undisciplined, scattered, non-committal, potential but not follow-through, when in reality, your brain may simply be optimized for integration, not extraction. Let's unpack that. Some people are specialists by nature. Their brains love narrow focus, repetition, incremental improvement, long feedback loops. Other people, maybe you, have brains that are naturally polymathic. Historically, we called these people polymaths, generalists, synthesizers. Today, psychology might describe you as high in openness to experience, high in associative thinking, high in cognitive flexibility, often high in sensitivity or intensity. Your brain doesn't want to dig one deep hole. It wants to build a network. Think of it like this. A specialist brain is a deep well. A polymath brain is a river system. The well goes deep in one place. The river connects many places. Now here's the tension. Modern success metrics reward wells. But progress, innovation, meaning-making, and synthesis? Those come from rivers. Let's talk about the moment that confuses you the most. You start something new, and at first, you're amazing. You learn fast, you see the structure quickly, you outperform expectations early. Then, something happens. The learning curve flattens, the novelty fades, the returns become incremental, and your motivation drops off a cliff. You tell yourself, "I'm quitting again." But psychologically, what's actually happening is this. Your brain is novelty-driven, not validation-driven. Early stages of learning release dopamine for pattern recognition. Later stages release dopamine for refinement. If your brain is wired to crave pattern recognition more than refinement, you will feel alive at the beginning and restless at the middle. This doesn't mean you can't master things. It means mastery requires a different pathway for you. Here's something rarely said out loud. Being good at many things is not the absence of mastery. It's a different kind of mastery. You're likely very good at translating ideas between worlds, seeing connections others miss, learning new systems quickly, adapting across roles, holding complexity without collapsing. These are meta skills. They don't look impressive on a resume at first glance, but they are incredibly powerful in the real world. You don't master tasks, you master frameworks, and frameworks travel. This is why many polymathic people thrive later in life, excel in leadership, strategy, design, systems thinking, become indispensable once contexts get complex. Your value is not in being the sharpest tool, it's in being the toolbox. Now let's be honest, even if this is a strength, it doesn't always feel like one. Because being good at many things can create chronic self-doubt, comparison, anxiety, identity, confusion, fear of wasting potential, guilt for not committing harder. You might feel like you're always almost there, always close, never complete. And that can erode your self-trust over time, especially if you grew up being praised for potential more than process. So the goal isn't to romanticize this pattern. The goal is to work with it instead of against it. Let's slow down and get a bit more scientific. Many people with this pattern show 1. High dopamine sensitivity. You respond strongly to novelty, possibility, and learning. This makes you fast learning, curious, idea rich, but it also makes repetition feel draining. 2. Strong default mode. Network activity. This is the brain network associated with daydreaming, meaning-making, pattern integration. Great for creativity. Harder for sustained, narrow execution. 3. High openness plus moderate conscientiousness. You explore easily, but structure doesn't come naturally. It has to be designed. None of this is a flaw. It just means you need custom systems, not generic advice. Let's get concrete. Instead of asking, what is the one thing I'll do forever? Ask, what is my current home base? A home base is stable enough to build depth, flexible enough to explore sideways. You're allowed to orbit interests. You just need one gravitational center at a time. Mastery doesn't have to mean obsession. For you, mastery might look like being in the top 20% of multiple domains, then integrating them in a unique way. Stop measuring yourself against people with different nervous systems. You're not built for endless consistency. You're built for seasons. Create cycles of deep focus, expansion, integration, rest. This aligns with your natural energy instead of fighting it. Instead of asking, did I finish this? Ask, what did this connect to? Your growth is lateral as much as vertical. A quick but important note. If you also struggle with chronic disorganization, time, blindness, emotional overwhelm, severe difficulty finishing anything, it may be worth exploring. ADHD, burnout, or nervous system overload. This pattern overlaps, but is not identical. Self-compassion doesn't mean ignoring support. Let me say this clearly. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not wasting your life because it doesn't look linear. Your mind was not designed for straight lines. It was designed for maps, and maps matter, especially in a world that's changing faster than specialists can keep up. So, let's summarize. If you're good at many things but master of none, it doesn't mean you lack discipline. It doesn't mean you're unfocused. It doesn't mean you failed to choose. It means your mind is built to learn fast, integrate deeply, adapt fluidly, create meaning across domains. Your task is not to become someone else. Your task is to build a life that fits your psychology. You're not scattered. You're complex. And complexity, when understood, becomes power. I'll see you in the next one.